What's up, guys? Nathan here. Today, I'd like to share some exciting information and armchair analysis about Path of Exile's upcoming league Synthesis. First, I'd like to share some of my insights from the information we know so far, and then I'll leave you guys with the VOD of my initial reaction to the trailer. So, let's get started. As a whole, Synthesis seems a lot like Delve, Incursion, and Stargate had a beautiful three-way. You go about your regular activities, encountering decaying memories that teleport you to an alternate zone that you quickly progress through for menial rewards. Then, once you've acquired enough of these memories, you use them to handcraft your own sequence of encounters, ultimately resulting in rewards that are tailored to your liking. The first and most interesting trend I noticed in the trailers we've seen so far is the continued focus on crafting. Delve brought us fossils, Betrayal brought us an accessible crafting bench, and Synthesis is bringing us built-in meta crafting and custom implicits. This may seem like a lot to take in for newer players, but the gist of it is we'll have more ways than ever to create interesting builds from scratch and play with absurdly overpowered self-made items. Furthermore, it seems like GGG has really upped the ante for their upcoming unique items. The four items teased, Storm's Gift, Bottled Faith, Nebulous, and the Eternity Shroud all seem absurdly powerful when built around correctly. I'm especially interested in the former two, as Storm's Gift looks like a free Elementalist Ascendancy when paired with Impulses, and Bottled Faith has potential to be one of the best DPS flasks in the game for melee crit builds. Another aspect of the league to look forward to are the upcoming balance changes. It's not uncommon for GGG to make some minor and major adjustments to some of the weaker and stronger mechanics in the game, but according to Chris Wilson, we'll actually be seeing an entire overhaul of all of the spells in the game. Additionally, we're getting some love for self-casting in the form of Spell Focus and Unleash support gems. It's hard to tell without more information how good these supports will be, but I have a feeling Unleash has potential to lead to some pretty nutty 1-second Shaper kills in the near future. According to ZiggyD's overview video, Synthesis is putting a huge emphasis on playing the game the way you want to. This can be seen in the new crafting-centered reward structure, the total rebalance of all spells in the game, and of course the heavily personalized league mechanic. As such, I think the biggest takeaway from today's announcement should be this: don't be afraid to try new builds and do your own thing. Synthesis could very well end up being the biggest meta shakeup since I started playing the game over a year ago, and I'm super hyped to try new shit that's never been done before. Thanks for watching, this has been Nathan, and I'll now leave you with my first reaction to the trailer. Y'all ready for this? Let's turn it up. Here we go. Here we go.
To be forgotten. A fate worse than death. It is as though my very thoughts are breaking, fracturing into tiny splinters. There are secrets buried in my memories, Exile. Important secrets. Save these memories. Preserve them. But move swiftly, lest you be forgotten.
Woo! What is that? Oh shit, that was sick.
In this realm, ideas may be manifested into reality. Build paths to secrets long forgotten. Treasures you could only dream of, synthesized into your very hands.
What? Did you just make an implicit with
Create
conversion?
Something truly unforgettable.
What the fuck is this? Oh, those chaos skills, that AoE thing. Holy shit. Oh, it is a charge up beam. Okay. Wow, I don't even. That was like even more confusing than any trailer I've ever seen. Okay, let's see what Chris Wilson's got to say. We're gonna rewatch the trailer after this, I promise. But like, damn.
In Path of Exile Synthesis, you will meet Cavus and help him recover his lost memories. Enter Cavus's memories and stabilize them by fighting your way to memory stabilizers before they decay. Connect these memories together in the Memory Nexus to reach distant memories containing dangerous bosses and valuable rewards.
I love these aesthetics.
Memories decay after a few runs, so plan your path carefully. Decaying memories yield fractured items with broken mods that are locked in place.
Locked in place? Oh no. Oh. It's like free, like metacrafting.
Consume these fractured items to synthesize new base types with custom implicit mods based on the fractured items you used.
New base types. Okay, if this is like a fucking life base type. Okay, so Jug
Synthesis also
in a
contains a
fucking
complete balance
puzzle?
overhaul of all spells in Path of Exile, 6 new Chaos and Holy spells, and significant incentives for handcasting, including several new support gems. Check out pathofexile.com/synthesis to learn more.
Damn. Okay. Wow. There's a lot to go over here. Okay, so this is
Decaying
typical.
memories
Oh,
yield
this is the big
fractured
one.
items with broken mods that are locked in place.
Okay, so I'm sure you guys understand a little bit of crafting, at the very least, if not way more than me. But like the idea of having a good set of mods that are like actually usable, like 100 life and 42 fire res, and then you can just chaos spam on it or craft on it, and like it's not going to go anywhere. Like you've pretty much just locked in to having 100 life, and you can just do whatever you want with it. So it's the same idea of having like suffixes or prefixes can't be changed, but without using a mod slot, without having to be crafting it yourself initially. Just like so many more opportunities for self-crafting is what I'm reading on here, which is the lifeblood of this game for me. That's crazy. Oh, and then the next, what's coming up here is like, I think, even bigger. Damn, that was crazy.
Consume these fractured items to synthesize new base types with custom implicit mods based on the fractured items you used.
Yeah, I don't know how rare this thing is, but if this thing gets an implicit with gain and this is like Scion Jug in an implicit item. Like, I don't know if they're going to have these for like, I don't know, gain a frenzy charge every second if you've hit an enemy recently, but this has potential to be bonkers. This could be like indirect buffs to less popular ascendancies because you're going to be able to get things that other ascendancies already give you. This is super cool. This is like my favorite thing here, the entire feature. Yeah, let's check out this implicit. Yeah, I saw this. Look at this. 25% of fizz converted to lightning on an implicit. Gloves, you can already get that. I don't know if they're going to have it again, but you can already get the veiled mod that also converts. So you could get 100% conversion pretty fucking easily now. Like, this is very good. Like, this is an implicit on gloves. I wonder if you get it on other gear, like something that isn't as big of a deal, like a belt. I don't know. Well, then you'd be giving up abyssal sockets. So this I don't know how rare these rewards are, but this is like some crazy end game self-crafting potential. Also, what is that? The new self-cast thing. Look at that. He did 4 fireballs really fucking fast. It's like spell echo, but like very good, right? Look at that. He just did 4 fireballs. He's about to blow these kids up. Man, that's dope. So you're going from point A to point B, but you might, when you choose to go a certain way, you're eventually going to be cutting yourself off. Okay. Okay, so that kind of is meant to, force you to continue to explore rather than try to just ping pong between what are potentially lucrative nodes, maybe? Yeah, it's very delvy. It feels very delvy to me. Except for, from what I understand, there's a lot more customization in terms of the drops you get. Because for Delve, the progression is similar, but you're going to a fossil node, you're getting those fossils. There's really not a lot of uniqueness to it. Whereas it seems like here, you're piecing together these mods, these global mods. I don't know. No sulfite, but I can promise you're going to have to be getting these memory fragments. I guess that's what they're calling them, right? Stabilized memory fragments can be pieced together. No. Yeah, you'll find decaying memory fragments throughout Rayclass. Yeah, it'll be the same thing as sulfite. You'll have to find those fragments. Makes sense. They can't let us have too much fun. Within Cavus's distant memories are many types of valuable rewards. As you progress deeper within the recesses of his darkest memories, his mind starts to synthesize encounters with dangerous and twisted manifestations. What is this? This guy is using Essence Strain AoE. Wow, what an interesting build. Ooh, that looks sick. You get to go toe to toe with the Betrayal supporter packs. I'm teasing this thing again. I think this might be the big boss. This might be the big guy you have to fight at the end of whatever. Because they showed him at the end for a second. So that's kind of interesting because they kind of spin it like it's a clear speed league, because up here you're trying to quickly get from point A to point B. But then they also try to spin it as, hey, you have big bosses to fight at the end. So, wait, if these are locked in place then, you could potentially fossil craft on one of these? Oh man, or essence craft on one of these? It's just, wow. Well, it's kind of cool because this doesn't actually like buff or nerf like the existing OP crafting methods. All it does is it makes crafting in general potentially easier, maybe. And then it also, I think this inherently rewards you going further and further in because obviously you want to get these high eye level, locked mods. Because if you get the low eye level ones, I'm sure they're not even worth crafting on. This is insanity, by the way. These implicit mods are somewhat controllable by careful choice of input items to consume. Somewhat controllable, okay. A ring, oh my god. I mean, this is already like insanity here. Curse with level 5 flammability on hit, okay. Mana and maximum fire resistance. What the fuck? Wait a minute, this thing has 2 fucking things. Is this a joke? How you have an enchantment and a implicit? What? Are we real here? So this is going to work on helms. You can get a helm. Okay, so why would I corrupt anything then? What's the point of corrupting with shit like this in the game? This is like kind of a nerf to Incursion in a way. I hope they bring Incursion up to snuff. I don't know why you would be double corrupting stuff. Well, I guess for uniques, let's be honest. Wow, this is crazy to see this thing has an enchantment as just onslaught, just casually 20% increased attack speed and movement speed and cast speed. Just onslaught. This is like basically a 50% movement speed boost. This is 7 league step with 80 life and 50 total res, and of course an enchantment. I don't know how rare something like this is. I really don't, but wow, power creep is real. Power creep is fucking real. Okay, rebalance and reworks. The damage of almost all spell in the game has been adjusted, providing many more powerful options for spellcasters. We've also reworked Storm Burst, Flame Totem, and Storm Barrier. See? Called it. Called it, boys and girls. Storm Barrier needed that rework real bad. I'm sure most of you guys know that. Not fantastic. New support gem, Unleash. Sick. About to unleash my spells. The Unleash support builds up power over time to have spellcasts fire multiple times. So do you just not... If this is what I think it is, this seems crazy. If you don't cast at all for a little bit, maybe you will cast like a bunch of spells really quickly, or just like a bunch of projectile type things. That seems really cool, if that's true. I mean, that also really sets up for some insane like sub 0.1 second shaper kills, if this works how I think it does. Or maybe it's like a charge of mechanic, in which case it would be lame, but still probably good. Next up, Spell Focus. Spell Focus support shifts from an area increase to a powerful damage multiplier as you repeatedly... Ugh. It's like the built-in elementalist. Can I help you learn? Okay, thank you. This is really not something I like to see, honestly. Like, kind of rotating buffs like Pendulum of Destruction is just like the opposite of my jam. Unleash a sudden blast that consecrates the ground and sends out a purifying shockwave. Okay. Purifying. It's a sudden blast. And it's got consecrated ground everywhere. Okay, so this is consecrated path, but a spell and doesn't teleport you. Okay, I mean, this looks fun to play. Anything that gives me free consecrated ground to work with, that's cool. Wave of Conviction. A massive wave of elemental force spreads out over a large area, purging enemy resistances. Ooh, okay. So this could be a really cool support, regardless of whether you use it as your main skill. I'm doing well, Justin. How are you doing? We're just checking out some of these new spells. Yeah, if this purges enemy resistances, this is kind of cool. More Inquisitor nerfs, though. Indirectly, that is. Okay, this is the hype one. Divine Ire. Channel to draw in energy from enemies around you. Okay. Dealing lightning and physical damage. Oh, so you deal damage during the channel. When you stop channeling, the energy is released in a single devastating beam to everything in front of you. Wow, okay. This has like really nice mechanics from what I can tell. I mean, I could be wrong, but the idea of you deal like AoE damage and then you let go for single target, I mean that seems strong maybe. I don't know, that seems really cool. I don't know how comfy that'll play with. I don't know if you'll be using the AoE portion to clear it all or if that's just meant to buff you when you're doing like big kills. But that's interesting. I mean, I think I speak for everybody when I say I'm excited to see a skill that involves one big single beam that obliterates everything in front of you. So we'll see how it works. Okay, here's my AoE skill I was looking at. Bane applies all linked curses and a damage over time effect to enemies in an area with benefits for each curse applied. Wow, okay. So is this a buff for self-casting curses? Is this similar to... Huh. That seems good. That seems very strong. It's a little interesting. I don't know. I guess it could be a nice change of pace to make people cast their curses manually instead of just using blasphemy or curse on hit. Bane. I wonder how much damage it'll be. This is cool. I wish it would spread with something like Essence Strain type contagion stuff because I really like that play style. This is cool though. This is a really nice way to try to get people to start casting curses themselves. This could be good. It's probably going to be bad, but it could be good. This skill I was also looking at. Soul Rend. Unleash a projectile that weaves towards enemies and applies a deadly but short-lived damage over time effect around the projectile. Weird. With additional projectiles and increased duration, the skill can wipe out large groups of enemies. I mean, this seems really good. It says weaves towards enemies, though, so that makes me think it's heat-seeking. And anything that's like sort of heat-seeking in this game has the potential to be strong. Yeah, this thing looks really cool. I know this is a cast. This is not a channel. I thought it was a channel. And it applies a dot. There's going to be a lot of tags on this gem. And then also, since, you know, projectile stuff usually affects dots now with vicious projectiles, this has like a lot of potential to be good. Well, it also says time around the projectile, so maybe it might have an AoE tag too. Who knows? This thing has a lot of potential. This one I see could be super dope. Yeah, Soul Rend looks cool too. Like just like kind of like sending out these like souls to go and sort of like seek out your enemies. Looks like it's probably going to have garbage single target though in all likelihood, but maybe that's what Bane is for. I think they really like their dual sort of spell design where you use one and then you use another to sort of support it. I think they like those. So, okay, what do we got here? Malevolence and Zealotry. Okay, that's cool. These two new auras provide new reservation options for a wide variety of spell counters. Cool, this doesn't tell me anything. Maybe these are supposed to be like heralds for different kinds of spellcasters. Okay, I mean, there's already so many things to reserve your mana with in this game with aspects now. I don't know, maybe this is a buff to low life, more things to fucking just run for whatever reason. Yeah, these look cool though. Thematically, these look dope. Increased dot, increased lightning resistance. Enemies you kill are shocked. Shocks you inflict spread to other enemies. What? Shock prolif? What? Okay, so this is Impulsa getting nerfed? Because I don't think you put this item in the game with Impulsa still in the game. Pretty sure you don't fucking do that. Right? They have to be nerfing Impulsa. This would be fucking dumb. You literally would slap this and Impulsa on any fucking build in the game, and you're just a fucking like elementalist, like you're just clearing like a god. There's no fucking way. Yeah, that's bonkers. That's actually insane. Maybe I'm misreading something here. I don't see any horrible downsides to this item. Obviously no life, but I mean it still has a little ES. They have to nerf Impulsa. I don't see how they could do both of these. Okay, what do we got here? Nebulous. It's like nebulous, but not spelled how I think you're supposed to spell that. Void Scepter. Increased cast speed. 18% increased cold damage per 1% cold resistance above 75%. 20% increased lightning damage per 1% lightning resistance above 75%. I think this is actually really cool, unique. I really like this. I wonder what the rolls are, because you see it's 18 and 20, so if that goes up a little bit more, I mean, hell, if you're fucking wearing a lore weave, that's already 100% increased lightning damage. And that's like without even like really investing in your max res with something like, you could do something like Sappho's frame, you could run a purity. Yeah, I mean, stacking res is a thing. It's stacking max res is kind of interesting. And then purities are AoE, right? They're an aura, so you could technically get in a party with somebody. This is cool. This is a really cool item. I don't know how high you're going to be able to stack this reasonably, but I think you could pretty quickly hit 100% increased just by doing something like a lore weave. Unless lore weave gets nerfed, but I don't know if that item 100% needs to be nerfed. It's good, but bottled faith. Nice. Okay. Consecrated ground by this flask is tripled. Increased duration. Wait, what do you mean? Tripled radius. Okay. 2% to critical strike chance against enemies on consecrated ground during effect. Enemies on consecrated ground create during... That is a big DPS multiplier. Holy crap. You think the staff is going to be that? It's a scepter, dude. It's not even a staff. You can dual wield these things. This is a very interesting thing. I don't think this thing's going to be as OP as you think it is. I don't think it's going to be worth 15x. I think it's going to be like 15C until people figure out how to use it. But this flask, on the other hand, is bonkers. This is like, if you're like a fucking, I don't know, like an Inquisitor or something, and you're just staying in AoE. Are you leaving? Bye, have a good day. Yeah, this is a huge DPS bonus. Yeah, I don't know for sure if how the critical strike chance scaling is going to work. If it's just like a flat 2% and then all of your percent goes on top of it, you know, like power charges and percent increased crit chance, then it's huge. If it's just like a flat 2% extra, like Owl's Uprising, then it's good, but it's not as bonkers as I'm seeing here. Because if it is like the better way, then you pretty much pop this as an Inquisitor and you're just a one-shotter. I mean, it's good on everything other than Inquisitor, obviously. The 10% more multiplier there. A lot of great stuff. Okay.
Thank you!
What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out to the end of the video. Usually they aren't this long, but I've never really done a React sort of VOD type video before, so yeah, hopefully it wasn't too painful. Anyway, I wanted to thank my Patreon supporters, Real Human, Pete, Zikarak, Squally, Zoljan, Coda, Julia, and Alan. Thank you guys so much. You make what I do possible, and I don't mean that ironically or facetiously. Like, seriously, the money you give me buys me lunch, So thanks. If you guys are interested in checking out Patreon, you non-Patreon supporters who may or may not be watching right now, you can go check out patreon.com/NathanBrotherBob. And if you have no interest in Patreon at all and you want to just hang out and be a part of my little YouTube community that's been built up, you can come to the Discord, which is at that URL right there. I'm not going to try to say it because that's a lot of letters, and I'll probably make a mistake, and that would be just embarrassing. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.